Hello guys, welcome to another video, and this video here is actually going to be a tutorial on the Hidizs AP200 high resolution audio player. Now this tutorial here, by the title you're going to know what it's all about. So it's going to be all about the firmware, and I'm going to show you guys how to do the firmware update on this particular player. First thing that you should do, unfortunately I don't understand why Hidizs doesn't do this, but Hidizs actually installed the first version of the firmware, which happened to be a beta, onto this player. Now I don't know why they don't load up the latest firmware on this player right off the box. I don't know why they don't do that, but that's the fact of the matter. The fact is that they don't do that. So basically I want to show you guys how to do this, and I'm going to explain a little bit what little issues I had right off the top of the right when I took the player out of the box after my unboxing video. And just going to explain to you what kind of issues I had right off the bat. When I turned it on the unboxing video, everything else seemed to be fine. First of all, there were 4 songs loaded onto this player, and they were all corrupted, first of all, so they wouldn't even play at all. Second thing is, I attempted to log into Google account, into my Google account, so I can download Hidizs and Spotify. Unfortunately, Google Play services kept on crashing, and it kept on crashing, and kept on crashing. It got to a point where I didn't even know what to do, basically. So because of that, I figured, okay, you know what, fine, it's a brand new player, let's just do a factory reset. So I did that, and believe it or not, I actually had to use Bixby Vision on my cell phone to try to get to the language, because it reverted back to the Asian language on there, so which unfortunately I can't read. So I got that sorted out, so I got it back to English and whatnot, and so that was all fine and dandy. And then I thought to myself, you know what, before I attempt to log in to Google Play Store again, I'm going to do the firmware update on this. Now, the firmware update on this here, you have to follow the instructions to a T on the website. If you don't follow the instructions to a T, this is not going to work for you, and you will have problems, pretty much. So let's go ahead and let's start this tutorial here, and yeah, so let's go from there. So if you have an SD card installed on here, my suggestion to you is remove the SD card, just to be on the safe side. I'm sure it doesn't matter, but just to make things a little bit more simpler, and I'm also going to go to a point where you just took the player out of your box, you don't have a SIM card installed. Now the reason I say that is because when you have the SIM card installed, it'll actually show up 2 separate drives on your computer, and if you got multiple drives like I do, you can easily get confused what drive belongs to what. So to simplify things, just take this the SIM card out of your player, and just use the player just the way as is. Okay, so of course you want to make sure it's turned on. Alright, now I have this error message here from Google Play Store updated. For some reason it fails to update. Now I don't know if that's something that the Hidizs has to do with a firmware update or not. I'm not 100% sure, but Hidizs still works with this error here, and I'm going to be doing a separate video on the streaming services of this player later down the road. Okay, so what you're gonna do, and I recommend that you guys use the original cable that came with the player. Okay, this way you know for a fact 100% that the cable is compatible with the player. I'm sure it doesn't matter, but just to be on the safe side, use the cable that came with the player. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to plug it into the computer. Okay, so now what's going to happen is, if this is the first time that you've hooked this player up to the computer, you may get an installation of the driver's window pop up in your computer. You'll have to wait until that pops up. Alright, so you basically, if you get that bar across the top, you just click on to get to this. Sometimes it goes into this mode, it goes to this picture here automatically. Okay, so now in order to get this player to show up on your computer, you actually have to hit mass storage. Okay, now I'll turn on USB mass storage, you click OK. Alright, so now what's going to happen is, on your computer is you're going to get a drive pop up here, which is I believe it's this one here. In my case, it's this USB drive H over here. Okay, so let me just verify to make sure this is the one. Yes, it is, because I got an Android folder there. Okay, so if you're not sure 100% which folder it is, the best thing to do is watch your screen when you plug the player in and see what pops up on your screen, and that way you know which one it is. Okay, now before we start with this thing here, you have to have either WinZip, which is this one over here, or you have to have a firmware installed on your computer. Okay, these are decompression software, and because the software is going to come compressed, so you got to make sure that you have software to decompress it. Okay, if you don't have any of these two, I suggest you go ahead and download one of them. You can download from any of these places here. They're all pretty much the same. Me personally, I like to use firmware because of this particular feature, which I will be showing you guys here in a minute. Okay, next step, go to Hidizs website. Okay, you're at the Hidizs website now, and what you're going to do, you're going to scroll all the way down to the bottom. Okay, and then you're going to see support here. So you're going to click on download. Alright, now these are all the firmware updates for all their players. Okay, and also the USB DAC driver for Windows. I have an issue with this, which I'll be making a separate video, and hopefully you guys will be able to give me a hand with this particular part over here. But that's going to be a very different video down altogether. So what you're going to do is you're going to come over here, and you're going to find your player, which is, in my case, it's just AP200, and the latest firmware is 1.0. Okay, the player actually comes with 2.6 installed out of the box. Don't know why they do that, but they do. Alright, so you're going to click on it. You're going to get all these instructions here now. Now, this is what the instructions tell you that you have to follow to a T. Okay, so you're going to download the file. You're going to make sure that your player's battery is over 50%. If it's lower than 50%, I recommend that you charge it either to 100% or above 50, or else battery might die and then you're going to have a small brick. So make sure it's above 50% of your battery charge. Okay, and then you're going to have firmware or WinZip installed on your computer, because you got to use that to unzip it. So that's what this means over here. Okay, and then it's going to ask you to connect your AP200 to the PC. Open up your USB storage, which we already did. Okay, and then you're going to copy the update .img file to the internal or TF card. So it says here the transfer card, which is the SD card. You can put it in either or, but just to simplify things, we're just going to eliminate the card altogether. And it's going to say, then it says here switch off USB, and then your AP200 display will ask to update the firmware. Okay, I will be explaining all this stuff with you guys all together. So before we start this, just make sure you know where you have your download folder on your computer for your internet downloads. Okay, in my case it's on my D drive and internet downloads. Okay, now what you want to do is make things easy. You want to create a new folder. Alright, make a new folder and call it AP200, which I did over here. Okay, to simplify things, that's the easiest way so you don't get lost within all this other stuff we got in here and trying to figure out where is what. Okay, so once you create your folder, alright, what you want to do is go back to the website and click on here. Alright, once you click on here, you're going to get a separate window. Okay, now this separate window is actually going to show update.img. Right, now what you got to do is you got to go to the left and click on this arrow going down into a little bin. Okay, then you're going to download the AP200 1.0 zip. Okay, and then once that happens, you may get this thing here. It says download anyway. Then on at the bottom here, you're going to have this AP200 1.0 zip. Okay, once that's finished downloading, depending how fast your internet speed is and whatnot, you want to go back to your folder where you have downloaded your internet where all your internet downloads go to. You're going to find that file. Alright, and sometimes depending how you have your computer set up, it might be at the very top, and sometimes it's not, so you're going to have to look for it. But another easiest way to do this is actually this way too. If you go back to Google and you highlight this box, you right click on it, okay, and open, and you go show it in folder, it actually will highlight it for you. So in my case, it actually went to the bottom. Alright, so once you get this, what you want to do is you want to right click on it and hold, okay, and you want to copy into your new folder. Now I'll explain to you that in a second why we're doing this. Okay, now I believe I already have it downloaded, so excuse me. So you're going to copy this over, so it probably might ask me that I already did. So you're going to copy it over. See, I already have it on there, so we're going to skip it. Okay, and what you're going to do, you're going to open it up. Now what's going to happen is, actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this just to demonstrate to you guys. Okay, now with WinRAR, I don't know if WinZip does the same thing or not, but with WinRAR, you click on it once, you right click on it. Okay, you right click on it, and then you're going to have these options here. If you say extract files here, it'll actually extract it into the same folder. So you'll go through the process here. Okay, so that's the folder. This is the file here that you're going to use to transfer onto your AP200. Alright, so either you can make two windows, or you can just take and drag and drop it into the drive here. Either or, it's basically the same thing. So you're going to do is you're going to drag this into your drive. So now it's going to copy over. So basically what it's doing is copying over into the player now. Okay, and we'll select this copy here, and depending on where you've plugged the player into USB 3.0 or USB 2, it could go a lot faster. I have mine plugged into USB 3.0 at the moment, so it'll take about 25 seconds here. We'll let this go through here. So as that's transferring over, okay, so now it's transferred over. Okay, so now what you're going to do is you want to be able to disconnect this. So you want to take this window off. So in other words, just click on any other drive to kind of disengage it from there, so that you can undo it. So now on the player here, what you're going to do is you're going to disconnect from hitting the button here. Now either it'll pop up automatically or it will not. So it actually did pop up automatically. So what you do is you unplug the USB cable, okay, and then what you want to do here is actually click on install. No, I'm not going to do it because I already got my player set up and everything, and I want to keep it that way. Okay, so you click on install and it'll do its thing. Alright, now once it's finished doing its thing, it should ask you to delete that file. Alright, in my case I'm just going to hit cancel, and I'll demonstrate how you delete that next. So after the update's done, it should ask you to delete the file. If it does not ask you to delete the file, you're going to have to hook up the player to the computer again. Alrighty, so I'm going to have to delete it now because I'm not doing the firmware update. So you're going to plug in the cable again, right? USB connected. You're going to click the top. You're going to click on mass storage, and of course it will pop up back on your computer again. And you go there and delete that file. Okay, so here's my file right here. So you're going to take and delete it. There, done. So now you can shut that off. You can disengage the mass storage. Wait until it's done, and then you can unplug it, and then your update is complete. And that's pretty much how you update the firmware on your AP200. If you have any other questions, if you have any other problems, I will try to attempt to help you as much as I possibly can. There's other methods that can be done as well. To my understanding, you can actually transfer the file onto the SD card, pop the SD card in, and it should do the exact same thing again. And then just take and delete the file off of the SD card. Also, you can take and download that onto the SD card and force the firmware update on the player. That's more in advanced. I'm not sure exactly if you got to hit the top button, and you got to hit the volume down and press the top button while it's turned off at the same time. And it'll put it into boot recovery mode. That's another way you can do it as well. That's some more advanced features on there. I may do something like that down the future. I'm not 100% sure yet, but this is just a basic tutorial how to do the firmware update on your AP200. I hope this helps you guys. I hope this kind of clarifies some things with some of you. And you know, if you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you enjoyed my content and you want to keep up to date on how things are going with this player and stuff, make sure to subscribe, because I'm going to be testing out the all streaming services. I'm going to be testing out the Bluetooth version of this player, which I've got the Samsung Icon X's here, 2017 edition. And also, on a later video, you guys are going to be seeing an unboxing of these wireless headphones that I'm going to attempt to pair on with this player as well down in the future. And then also, I'll be getting the Samsung Galaxy Buds as well, and I'll be seeing how well this syncs to this player as well. So that's pretty much what I have to say. Just a reminder that I am running a giveaway. Watch my 1,000 subscriber celebration and giveaway information. I'll put a link of the video on top here for you guys to go check it out. And until the next video, goodbye.